Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Bann. I swear I'm the same person. I got a haircut. Today's coffee, today's brew, whatever you want to say, is Winco Classic Roast Instant Coffee, because we are out of distilled water. And today's topic is the Nintendo Switch. I sweetened this with hot cocoa, and it just kind of tastes like a really good hot cocoa now. Or like a better hot cocoa than just plain, I don't know. Maybe I didn't use enough coffee in this? Either way, this is very good. I like it. Half and half, hot cocoa for sweetener. I like that a lot, actually. So, the Nintendo Switch. My personal history with this didn't really start until, like, 2020? Late 2020, I think? Maybe early 2021? My brother got one immediately on launch, right? And this is unsurprising because he is him. I did not care about the Switch. Not at all. The Switch, initially, I knew about it. I knew that everybody was very excited about the NX coming out finally, but I was not. I didn't care. I was still into the Wii U. Kinda. Like, I didn't have one. Big shocker, my brother was the one who had one. But I was still into the Wii and the Wii U. The Switch didn't have anything that particularly interested me at the time, right? I didn't really know much or care much about Zelda, so Breath of the Wild wasn't interesting. And there wasn't a whole lot else at launch, if I recall correctly. I think, like, Super Bomberman R existed at launch. I honestly could not tell you. When I started caring about the Switch was 2020. Specifically, March of 2020. I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark as to what might have happened in March 2020 that made me care about the Switch. Actually, I guess a little earlier than March 2020. But, sorry, the correct answer is Animal Crossing. I adore Animal Crossing, as I'm sure you know, right? Because I've done an entire video about Animal Crossing. I love the series. Animal Crossing was what got me to care about the Switch. But unfortunately, we didn't have one. So for quite a while, I just couldn't, play it. I couldn't do anything. I tried to emulate it. I tried to emulate Animal Crossing, back on my real old computer. Even at the time, it was probably a 2009 computer. Had a Core 2 Quad Q8400, and at that point I did have a GT 1030 in it. Animal Crossing did not run. Partially because the emulators weren't really ready to run Animal Crossing yet. But I tried to play Animal Crossing, couldn't. So for a while I was just out of luck. But then I realized, wait, what if we were to get a family Switch? One for the family, for everybody to play. Then I could play it. And, like, that's what we did. I can't show you the family Switch. It is no longer a family Switch. It belongs to my sister now. But, I got us kids to clean the entire house. Like, the whole thing. And, in exchange for that, my parents got us a Switch and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and then a couple days later, Animal Crossing New Horizons. My sister was also very, very excited for Animal Crossing, mind you. She was the first one to get to play, and I was a little bit saddened by that, but like, oh well. But, so I didn't get a chance to play Animal Crossing that first day that we got it. But, the next day, I woke up at like 5 and just started playing the crap out of it. Played for a good several hours, and I loved it. I also got Mario Maker 2 at the same time that we got the Switch, and I'm gonna tell you right now, really fantastic decision. I don't care what the game, I don't care how good the game is or isn't, I don't care what it has or hasn't. I enjoyed it because I was able to make levels for my brother, Kovar, who streams Mario Maker occasionally. So, that was a good choice. I made an entire super world. And for a while, I adored my Switch. I loved it to death. Like, Switch was where I got a lot of my games. This was before I really started caring about playing things on PC instead. Like, if I were to get a Sonic game, it would be on Switch. I got Sonic Colors Ultimate, I got Sonic Frontiers, I got Sonic Origins, all on Switch day one. Right? Maybe a little bit of a mistake. Then I just kind of fell out of using the Switch. I don't know. Just it. But there's more to talk about the Switch than just my history with it. The Switch, in some ways, is revolutionary, and in other ways, is nothing we've seen before. Or, nothing we haven't seen before. If I could words, please. So, the Switch, being a dockable console, we've seen it before. We've seen it as far back as the Sega Nomad, at least. If not earlier than that. Or, yeah. Dockable handheld. But, we hadn't seen one with detachable controllers. That went swimmingly. Which I guess brings me to the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons are a fantastic, incredible piece of technology that absolutely suck. A lot of people find them too small to hold just like this. A lot of people would prefer to use them in the little grip thing that I don't have on me, but it's a grip. It makes it into like a controller, just a regular controller. I like it like this. I genuinely do. This feels perfectly fine for most things, unless I'm playing a platformer like Mario. If I'm playing Mario Maker, I need to use the D-pad, which means grip, please. But otherwise, this feels like a Wiimote and Nunchuck kind of situation, and I love the Wiimote and Nunchuck. The biggest issue everybody has, well, okay, the biggest issue everybody had when it launched was that you could put the Joy-Cons in upside down, and everybody was really up in arms about that. Like, broski, you do that to yourself. That's not Nintendo's fault that you put in your Joy-Cons upside down and messed something up. Anyway, but the real big issue that everybody has with the Joy-Cons is Joy-Con drift, which is not exclusive to Joy-Cons. Pretty much every controller ever will get it, at least every controller up to the point of the Switch, and some beyond. that's where the joysticks will start to not be centered properly, and they'll start to cause things to move on their own. And that's a problem with every controller. Or just about it. There are some controllers that don't have this problem anymore because they use a completely different technology for the joysticks, but assuming we are talking about potentiometer-based controllers, whatever, that's always going to be a problem. But it was a very huge problem with the Switch in particular, which is why we often call it Joy-Con drift specifically, and not just stick drift, or controller drift. These things would be drifting out of the box for some people. It is the Switch's Red Ring. Now, I personally never had that issue. It's actually kind of insane that I never had that issue. I've had 2 pairs of Joy-Cons. This is actually my original pair, and it doesn't have drift at all. It is perfectly fine. My second pair isn't mine anymore. But, I'll explain that soon. But yeah, the Switch had drift, and that was a widespread problem. Nintendo somewhat mitigated it, but not, like, fully, and so it still happens. The Switch in the, in handheld configuration kind of sucks ergonomically. It's a slab. So it's not super comfortable. Nintendo did release the Switch Pro controller, which I do have, just not on me. I didn't think that I would need to grab it, but Switch Pro controller exists. It's very comfortable, if a little bit annoying to open up, repair, whatever. Enough about the controllers, because I need to... Oh wait, actually, hold on. There's one more thing. They can be used on their side. The Joy-Cons can. And, this is uncomfortable and terrible. And it's so very appreciated. Like, it acts kind of like an SNES controller here. It's got little, it's got the buttons on the side. There's a thing you can slide on here so that you've got slightly bigger buttons. But, yeah. You can do that. It's very nice, actually, just to be able to. Makes multiplayer without having multiple controllers easier, right? So, but the big thing with any game console is the software library. Because, you know, what do you get a console for? Obviously to watch YouTube. No, it's to play games. YouTube wasn't even available at launch. The Switch, incredible library of games. They really picked everything up from the Wii U. And also picked things out from the Wii U. The Switch has a lot of ports from Wii U. Things like Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is a Switch port of Mario 3D World. Donkey Kong Jungle Tropical Freeze, new funky mode included, is a Switch port of Tropical Freeze. There are other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head, but there are more. But the biggest Wii U Switch port is kind of Breath of the Wild. Which I guess let's talk about that. Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild. Fantastic game. It was supposed to come out like 2 years before it did. It was initially announced as Zelda Wii U. It was meant to be their big Zelda game for Wii U. Didn't really happen until They decided to pivot to making it a Switch game that's also on Wii U. And they did that, and it ended up being still very good. Don't get me wrong. But I think that, I don't know, man. It kind of had to come out on Wii U. They promised it on Wii U. It is an open world game. It's the first open world Zelda. And it redefined a lot of things about open world games, and a lot of things about Zelda at this point. And moreover, it's just a lot of fun. I really do love me some Breath of the Wild. Its sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, is still pretty good. I think in some ways it's better, in some ways it's worse. But yeah, the Switch has a fantastic software library. It's got Breath of the Wild, a fantastic, incredible open-world Zelda game. It's got Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is a pretty good Animal Crossing game. Well, no, it's a pretty good game. It's an okay Animal Crossing game. Got Pikmin 4, pretty sure. Got a remake of Zelda Link's Awakening, which is great. I still need to play more of it. Sequel to Mario Maker. Big shocker, it got Minecraft. Got a lot of Wii U ports. Now, one big thing that the Switch did was start charging for online access. Which the Wii U didn't. The Wii didn't. The DS and 3DS didn't. But the Switch did, and everybody got real pissed about this. Thankfully, it is also the cheapest of any of the console online services. Unfortunately, it's also the cheapest of all the online services. You can get it for like a few bucks a month. And comes with a whole bunch of emulated games. This is something that I think is divisive. Some people really like Nintendo Switch Online's subscription for emulation, right? You get a bunch of NES, SNES, and Game Boy games in the base model. And in the expansion pass, which a lot of people don't necessarily like, for like twice as much, you get Game Boy Advance, N64, Genesis, and if you're on Switch 2, GameCube. Oh right, Virtual Boy also exists, and I don't know which one it is, but it's probably Expansion Pass. Now, Nintendo Classics, Nintendo Switch Online, whatever, divisive. Some people don't appreciate having to pay for what was free before. Some people don't appreciate making it exclusively a subscription rather than being able to buy these games individually and just have them. But at the very least, they're doing something. I don't know, man. I have NSO plus Expansion Pass, and it's nice to have. But I don't have that much of a stake in this race. I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm not the one paying for it. I'm not worried about it. I just appreciate having it. And it makes for great content. See my streams of playing every NSO game that I need to do another one of. Anyway. But the Switch... Oh yeah, it didn't get Netflix. I'm just a tiny little bit pissed about that. I don't care that much about Netflix, but I wanted Netflix on my Switch, dang it! Got Crunchyroll, but not Netflix. And again, the Crunchyroll app is dog water on Switch. So, Who cares? I got YouTube, Crunchyroll, Hulu, Disney Plus. I don't know, probably got Crackle. But it didn't get Netflix, and that's unfortunate. And then the Switch 2 just has nothing. Oh yeah, with the Switch, they finally moved back to cartridges. And said cartridges taste bad. Whoever discovered that first needs... I think I think whoever discovered that first needs to get the Ig Nobel Prize or something. So, I can't think of a whole lot else to say at the moment, because I am... I don't know. I only thought to do this video last night. To be honest, I had a different video planned today, but no, we're doing this one. So, because I am brain fogged up and can't think of anything more, the moral of the story is Nintendo really needs to come back to analog triggers. I love analog triggers. Give me analog triggers. None of this button crap. Give me an analog trigger. Let me choose how hard to push the stupid trigger. Don't just make it on or off. Anyway, that has been Coffee with Bann.